So I wanted to do a video talking about the teams that I feel like knocked it out of the park. Some of it because they made some really smart decisions. Some of it because just the board fell their way and they said, oh, thank you very much, we will take that. So this is my list of the 7 winners of night 1 of the NFL draft, the first of which, the Detroit Lions. I think that this is an obvious one because if you've been watching this channel, you know how much of a fan I am of Aiden Hutchinson. So Hutchinson, in my opinion, should have gone first overall. The fact that he didn't, the Lions very smartly said, yeah, we will take one Aiden Hutchinson, please. Thank you very much. That was the correct decision. Now, the Lions were, that's not all the Lions did in round 1. And my initial video when I talked about the Jameson Williams pick, I kind of said, like, okay, I like the player, but you kind of, why trade up here? But the more I thought about it, and people brought this up, and it's a good point, they didn't actually give up that much to move up the amount of spots that they did. Typically, it would require a lot more than that. It's not too different than the Bears when they moved up to get Justin Fields, but they gave up a first rounder to move up there, a future first rounder. The Lions did not have to do that. So that alone, I feel better about it. And like I said, Jameson Williams is awesome. I really like Jameson Williams' game. And I think they got 2 studs. They got 2 players who I had in my top 10. They got number 1 and number 10. So Lions knocked it out. This has been a good couple of drafts for the Detroit Lions, in my opinion. Another one also high up on the list. Another one with multiple draft picks. In fact, all but 2 of these teams were ones that ended up with had multiple draft picks entering the night. The New York Giants getting Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeaux. Kind of a weird choice for them to go with Thibodeaux first and Neal second, given the fact that I feel like the Panthers were more likely to take Neal than they were to take Thibodeaux at number 6. But the Giants said, no, we are going to sit here. We are going to do the right thing, do the. I guess they just wanted Thibodeaux more. Maybe the logic is like, listen, we want Neal. If the Panthers take Neal, okay, we can still get Ikem Ekwonu or Charles Cross. But if we don't take Thibodeaux and the Panthers get Thibodeaux, what do we do there? So I think that was probably the logic, was even though it seemed unlikely, it would be a bigger deal if that happened. So regardless, Giants got 2 really good players. Again, I said this in one of my videos about these 2 guys. There were people that had Evan Neal as their favorite prospect in this draft and people that had Kayvon Thibodeaux as their favorite prospect in this draft. Giants got both of them, so that's pretty good. Let's stay in New York. I think the New York Jets are another team that was a winner of this draft class. So first, Sauce Gardner, my number 2 overall prospect, goes to them at number 4. He was the second corner taken, so there was some chance that he could have gone earlier. I think you feel good that he did fall to you because he's a really good player and fits that scheme really well. Now, I'm a little bit lower on their next 2 first-round picks. They ended up with 3 first-round picks in this draft. First, Garrett Wilson, who I liked, I didn't love. I don't know if I love the value at number 10, but we also saw a big run on wide receivers in this draft. Wide receivers got overvalued compared to consensus draft boards in the actual draft. So because of that, they weren't getting him at 15. They couldn't trade down a few spots and still get him. He would have been gone. So that makes me feel a little bit better about it. And wide receiver is a tough position to evaluate. So I'm a little bit lower on that, and I'm a little bit lower on Jermaine Johnson than others. But the reason why I still have them as winners is just because of how high everyone else is on Garrett Wilson and Jermaine Johnson. I'm willing to say, okay, if that's the consensus, I mean, I've seen mock drafts with all 3 of these guys go to them at number 4. So getting all 3 of them, they got good value. They got some good prospects in this round 1. My next winner, let's stick with some of these teams that were picking early, is the Panthers. The Panthers are a big winner because they didn't go quarterback and they didn't, draft Kenny Pickett. So not drafting Kenny Pickett, you're a winner. Ikem Ekwonu was my number 1 offensive lineman on the board. So there's not a ton to talk about there. Just that I think the Panthers made the right call by not being stupid. And again, if they drafted Malik Willis, I wouldn't have hated that either. But just, I think the real thing is they didn't make a desperation move, which is what you wanted to see. So that's why I have them as a winner. Moving on to the next one on my list, give me another team with multiple first-round picks. But one of those picks did not get used on a draft pick. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles, who the Eagles, part of why they're a winner is because of that trade. They got rid of a first-rounder and got A.J. Brown back, who's, okay, they paid him a lot, $100 million for 4 years, so they're giving him some money. But if I understand correctly, typically the way these things work is you still get a couple of years of cheap production before that contract kicks in, meaning that while you have Jalen Hurts on a cheap contract, like you're really making this, make this offense look awesome. Devonta Smith should be great as a number 2 guy now with A.J. Brown next to him. And to make it all better, you got Jordan Davis, who, again, was I lower on him than others? Sure. Did I still like him as a player? Yeah, and this is kind of one of those perfect situations for him, I think, especially when you still got the receiver you wanted, which was someone on a different team, A.J. Brown. So, like that, 2 more winners left. The Kansas City Chiefs I have as big winners here, going with, they got McDuffie and they got George Karlaftis here. Trent McDuffie and George Karlaftis. They traded up for McDuffie. He's someone who, again, I'm interested in seeing how he'll fit in that scheme, but he's talented, and I think he'll make it work. And he was really good in college, so I have full, I think he'll work out. And they go out and get George Karlaftis, who's, again, a really talented player and a position of need. Karlaftis just, I keep saying it, he just wins. He just finds ways to win. So that's what I like about Karlaftis. So I think it could have been very tempting for them to reach on a receiver because that probably is their biggest need. But they had other needs, and you get in trouble when you start, drafting that way. Sometimes you got to just say, okay, we didn't get the receiver we wanted. Chris Olave didn't fall to the end of the first like we had hoped that he would. So whatever, we'll get the next best thing, which is 2 really good defensive players who, again, I've seen plenty of people have these 2 guys both as top 10 prospects. So getting them both when they got them, it's good value. Because, again, the winner isn't just how much value did you get, it's did you do the right thing with your picks, and I think the Chiefs did. Finally, my last winner, kind of an under-the-radar one, but I think a good one. The Bills getting Kaiir Elam here, good corner out of Florida. Florida corners have a checkered past for sure, but I think in that scheme and with that coaching staff, I have confidence it will work out. And I think it's a good position of need, and I think he's just a really talented player. It's that they got a really talented player kind of later on in the draft, and so because of that, I think that's good value, and they made the most out of this. Because, again, it could have been very tempting for them to go Breece Hall or something. No, they didn't do that. Made the right call. Got Kaiir Elam. So they are my 7th winner of this first day of the draft. But there's still plenty of time left. More winners will be had. More losers will be had. Maybe some of these winners will turn into losers by the end of it. Probably not, though. Round 1, is where the most value is. So, yeah. Interesting stuff. Let me know what you thought. Is there a team I did not put on this list, or do you disagree? Do you think that one of these teams I put on the list is actually not as big of a winner as I'm making them out to be? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.